Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, peers, teachers, and parents. My name is Emma Caitlin Brown, and the title of my project is Electric Steel. Sometimes, music is the only medicine the heart and soul needs. Music is an important part of my life, and hopefully the lives of many of you here today. Music is often used as a form of expression, for me particularly, and for my project, I chose to create and write my own music. Metal music is believed to have originated in industrial Britain before it became predominant in the United States of America, and much of the early music was written to correlate with the damp and smoggy conditions of the time. Metal music originated as a genre of rock music that evolved to become heavier and more technically difficult, mostly instrumentally, as the guitar techniques became a lot more complex. Metal grew from hard rock and blues, but developed its own darker, more distorted sound that became very popular with a predominantly male fan base. Large amplifiers and pedals were used to advance the sound even further. The 60s was the decade that the previously conscripted citizens began to integrate back into normal life, and they encouraged their children to branch out and enjoy. The economy's growth after the Second World War began to flatline, and the rates of unemployment began to climb. And the youth of the era used metal as a form of protest music. Eventually, the genre evolved and grew even further, developing its own sound and unique technical musical imprint. Every individual has their own taste in music and their own preference of genres, and although metal is the most popular, it has definitely made its mark on the history of music and on the world. Electric guitars use a pickup, which is an electromagnet that picks up the vibrational frequencies created when the strings are plucked. These frequencies are then put into an amplifier which heightens the sound. The most popular wood used to construct the guitar back and sides is rosewood because of its density, which caters to the guitar's need for perfect acoustic resonance. One note played at a time makes up a melody. Two notes played at a time make up a melody and harmony. A chord is constructed of three or more notes. The most common chord construction is made up of the first, third, and fifth notes of the major scale. The third is then adapted to change the different sound and tone of the chord. In the speech, I intentionally did not go into intense detail about the notation because it is very complex and took me a while to grip myself. I began this project a little tentatively, I must admit. I wasn't sure of the direction I wanted to take, or what exactly I wanted to do, and how to start. I will say I did definitely procrastinate. I think if I hadn't, I wouldn't have been under so much pressure. However, it was a lot easier to complete my project than I suspected it would be. The coronavirus outbreak, of course, made getting my electric guitar very difficult, and I only managed to get it in the middle of June. On top of that, any recordings that I did had to be done on my phone for my demos, which meant that I had to soundproof my room by taping duvets to my walls. Getting my electric guitar was amazing. It was way easier to play than my acoustic, and the frets are so much closer together, which helps because I have very small hands. In my first attempt at songwriting, my mentor and I put together some lyrics from a poem I had written the year previous. However, I did not find it inspiring and was very dissatisfied. I wanted something better. And then it came to me. I was doing something mundane, I think I was washing my hands, when a melody popped into my head, and soon after words followed. I used the first piece of lyrical writing we had done as a pointer to create my song because it had taught me so much. I mainly based my songs on experiences, memories, and creative writing I've done in my own personal time. I started by writing my choruses, and then, afterwards, found a fitting melody. After that, I added pre-choruses and then verses. It took me a long time to finish my first song. I spent the first 4 months of my project toying with lyrics and potential melodies for that song and the other songs I was writing. It was a frustrating process, and I battled greatly with my patience. My first song is about heartbreak and the confusion of losing someone close to you, as well as the recovery process and the emotions experienced in that time, including rage, anger, frustration, and grief. This song was inspired by hard rock and has a very Breaking Benjamin sound. This song definitely is the pilot song of my project, and I spent the most time on it, and it has been reworked at least 3 times. It is the song I learned the most from, and it gave me everything I needed to be able to write the other songs that I have. My second song has a very country flavor, and it is mostly a narrative song with not many serious tones. It was purely written for fun. This song was inspired by a lot of Shaman's Harvest, but a lot of metal is rooted deeply in American country music. Workshopping the lyrics and the melody with my mentor was a lot easier, I found, than the first song. Lorelei is the final song that I am incorporating into my grade 11 project, but not the final song I plan on releasing on my upcoming album. It was written on the acoustic guitar and will most likely be recorded on it, with subtle elements of the electric. The song itself is about the bond between siblings, particularly from the older siblings' perspective. The song was partially inspired by Counting Crows' Walkaways, particularly by its limited lyrical content in the song and the actual length of the song, which is very short. The song is very sad. However, I'm very proud of it, as it is the first song that I created all on my own, and it shows the full prowess of my songwriting capabilities. I learned a lot about myself in this process, and as my mentor says, I have a habit of rushing through doors before they even open, and by the time I realize I'm in the wrong building, it's already burning down. Because I tend to jump straight to the final product instead of gradually working my way towards it, I did encounter some difficulties. I appreciate the chance I've had to create something meaningful, and I look forward to continuing the journey. I would like to thank first and foremost my mom, without whom the project would not have been possible. Thank you for your patience and faith in me, and thank you for my beautiful guitar. I would like to thank Miss Correa and both of my mentors. I would like to thank my internal mentor, Miss Foster, for her patience with me when I was very anxious, and for helping me raise the standard of my work, and her eternal support. I would also like to thank my external mentor, who would be online now, who guided me from day one and had patience with me when I bit off more than I can chew, and when I was lost, frustrated, and uninspired. Dear Volt, I want to thank you for not only being an inspiration and a teacher, but also a very real person. I learned way more from you in the past 9 months than just how to write a song, and for that, I am truly grateful. I appreciate our moments of humor in times of stress, and I appreciate the time you took not only to produce my music, but to help me improve it. Lastly, I would like to thank all of the special people in my life for motivating and inspiring me. Unfortunately, the speech was the easy part of my presentation, and I will now perform Lorelei. Thank you all for coming and for listening.
Testing, check your balance. Sorry, I'm very nervous. Do you even
again, I'm sorry.
Just turn the gain up. It's in the mids down. On the guitar version of Brown. Leave it, please. Promise I'll get it this time. Okay.